Hi guys, and welcome back to Belle's Books. I'm so sorry I have been gone for such a long time. I have just moved house, so things have been really busy, and every Saturday kind of kept popping up and I again didn't have a video. So yes, I now am finally filming again. I'm actually sat on the floor of my new bedroom, which is really exciting. Do you like my little plant? Anyways, yes. What was I saying? Anyways, welcome back to Belle's Books. Before we get started, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe. I really appreciate your support. It literally makes my day. And also feel free to follow me on Instagram at Belle's Books for even more book-related content. So today I'm going to talk to you and I'm going to recommend some books to you which are Christmassy, December kind of reads. So they're not necessarily all Christmas stories. They don't all have the word Christmas in the title, but they are the kind of book that you want to like curl up on a couch with in December and just kind of read. When I was making this list, I came up with a list of criterion basically. So all of these books have to be at least one of the following. So they have to be either the kind of book you can curl up on a couch with and binge read, have snow in it at some point in the book, be magical in some way. And some of these books are more than just one of these three criteria, and some of them barely make the list, and I just kind of use one of the criterion to get them on because I love the book. I've got something for everyone on here, so please keep watching right to the end because you might find a book that you really would love to read this December. Also, you might be inspired to reread a book that you've already read. So the first book I'm going to recommend is The Starless by Erin Morgenstern, and this kind of makes my reading recommendation list constantly because it is my favourite book. It's a magical story, it's a story within a story. It basically follows a few different characters through their lives as they go on an adventure that takes them into another world, basically. There's loads of like short stories and stories within the novel, and then everything kind of ties together at the end in this amazingly satisfying way. It's the kind of book that you like pick it up and you don't want to put it back down, which is of course the best kind. So then I have The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. And this is on the list because, again, it's one of my favourite books. It's about a guy who goes on adventures. He goes to like a university of magic, and it kind of follows his adventures in his life while he's at the university, the things he does, the friends he makes, the enemies he makes. And it's just a really good adventure story. The one thing I will say for this is it's a slightly more intense read. Think Lord of the Rings, think Game of Thrones. It's the kind of thing that you do have to kind of focus on. Things will pop up again. It can be a bit kind of heavy to read, also literally heavy. The book is massive, but don't be put off by that because it is fantastic and it is the kind of book that you can just kind of binge. So the next book I have to recommend is Conjuring of Light by V.E. Schwab. I don't know. So basically this book is, first of all, it's a great series. It's about kind of magical travelling between worlds. It's an adventure story. It's YA. It is just a fantastic read. What I was struck with the most by this book was how creative the magic was. I think sometimes you can kind of read magic books and you're like, oh, I've seen this before. Give me something new. There is something new in that book, so I would completely recommend it. It's one of those reads that is quite easy to sit down and get into, and also if you get interrupted, it's not really going to matter. You're not gonna lose track of the plot, which makes it a fantastic Christmas read. And then we have Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone by J.K. Rowling. I mean, does this even really need an introduction? Obviously it's on the list. It's got Christmas in it, it's got snow, it's got magic, and it's the perfect book to curl up and binge read on the sofa. It meets every single one of the criteria. You probably already know it, you've probably already read it, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't read it again. And yes, I know people aren't happy with J.K. Rowling right now, but that doesn't stop the fact that Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone is a childhood classic. Then we've got His Golden Compass by Philip Pullman. This is a really fantastic fantasy book. It is like kind of YA children's, so it's again not the kind of thing that you have to really seriously think about, but it is just a great read. It follows the adventures of a girl named Lyra. She doesn't have parents, or does she? And it just kind of follows her adventures through this kind of magical world. Everyone in the world has like a daemon or a demon, which is like a small animal that you are connected to, like your souls are connected, so you can like read each other's minds, stuff like that. And I feel like Christmas is again the perfect time to read a book which is slightly less heavy than the books you might usually read. Something a little more fun, something a little more relaxing. Speaking of which, we have The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis. How could I not include this on the list? It is one of the most Christmassy books ever. Maybe an exaggeration, but Father Christmas is in it. It's just a great story. It's a children's book, but again, I'm picking books which might be children's books, but they're not the kind of children's books that you're like, oh yeah, why would I want to read that? It's not like they're picture books, or it's not like they're badly written or poorly written, or they don't have interesting vocabulary and plot and story. These books have all those things. They were just designed for children, which makes them more wholesome and more magical and more perfect to read at Christmas time. So the next book I'd recommend to you is more of an anthology. So this is The Letters from Father Christmas by J.R.R. Tolkien. So I basically have included this on the list because I remember when I was younger we had like a big box of Christmas books, which to be fair we still have a big box of Christmas books. One of the books in it was The Letters from Father Christmas, and I absolutely loved reading it at Christmas time. It's just really cute, like reading like the things that Father Christmas wrote, Christopher Tolkien, when he was little, and it's just super wholesome vibes, super Christmassy. It's the kind of book that you like want to pick up and have a leaf through while you're having a hot chocolate. Like everyone in your family will pick it up at some point if you leave it on the coffee table, you know what I mean? The next book I have is Little Princess by Frances Hodgson Burnett. This is mostly on the list because I actually want to reread the book this Christmas. I think it's very wholesome, like curl up on the sofa vibes, and it was one of my favourite books when I was younger. It's about a young girl who's sent to boarding school by her father, and then what happens while she's there. Plot twist, lots of terrible things happen. Who could have seen that coming? It's kind of like rags to riches but reversed, and then reversed again. I'm giving too much away. I would really recommend that you have a look at this book, especially if you love kind of like family stories which have like a coming together message, which I think again is perfect for Christmas time. So the next book I have is Let It Snow by John Green. It's an anthology of 3 short stories basically, and I just love this little collection. I kind of read it like every single year, and it's just like the most wholesome kind of Christmassy read it in an evening or two kind of book. I just think it's perfect for curling up on the sofa with, and I do love like a holiday romance story, and who doesn't love John Green? Then I have 7 Days of Us by Francesca Hornak, and the reason this is on the list is because I want to read it. I haven't read it yet, but I know it's about a family who has to quarantine together over Christmas, so it's literally perfect timing to read it. What more could you want from a book in 2020 than Christmas quarantine and family time? Because I mean that's what we've been doing, right? I'm very excited to read that. I'll let you know how it goes, probably on my Instagram, so plug again, follow me at Belle's Books. Those are the 10 books I recommend to you this Christmas, this December. I hope you managed to pick one of them, you get into it and you enjoy kind of cozying up with a book that you really love this Christmas. Thank you so much for watching to the end of the video, it means so much to me. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next Saturday. Bye!